America, once the land of dreams, welcomed millions of immigrants seeking new opportunities and a brighter future. Ellis Island, a symbol of the American dream, represented a nation ready to offer a fresh start. But in recent years, that image has begun to fade. New barriers, from soaring visa fees to complicated paperwork, have drastically diminished the value of U.S. visas. One of the major changes travelers now face is the soaring rejection rate and ever-increasing costs. Once a welcoming destination for immigrants and tourists, the U.S. has now become a place where even those wishing to visit family must navigate a complex and uncertain process. This has lessened America's appeal as a top tourist destination, leading to a growing trend. Global tourists are turning away from the American dream. So, the big question is this a setback for the world's leading superpower? Leave a comment with 1 if you agree with this perspective, or 0 if you disagree. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Now let's dive into this story. For a long time, the U.S. visa has been a symbol of the American dream for millions of people eager to come to the United States to build a new future. However, in recent years, the visa application process has become more difficult than ever, not only in terms of procedures, but also in terms of cost. The visa application fee has significantly increased from $21 to $40, along with additional fees such as a $250 integrity assurance fee and $30 for Chinese citizens. These changes have made many people reconsider whether to continue their journey. What is noteworthy is that, despite the increasing financial barriers and complicated procedures, the number of immigrants to the U.S. has not shown any signs of decreasing. Why is this happening? One factor may be that people from developing countries still view the U.S. as a place offering greater opportunities in life, no matter how high the cost may be. The rise in fees and the need for more documentation may feel like a form of disguised entry tax, making it difficult for those with limited financial resources, but they cannot stop dreaming of coming to this land of opportunity. As the visa fees continue to rise, from the basic fee to the integrity and special fees, many begin to feel that they are not just paying for a service, but are also paying a tax to enter a country they view as the promised land. These fees are not only financially burdensome, but also create a sense of injustice and exhaustion for those with limited financial means, or those who simply want to make a short trip to visit family or travel. Immigration policies need to be more flexible and fair, so that the American dream is not only accessible to those with financial means. This would help reduce the sense of injustice and create opportunities for everyone. Although the costs have risen, the U.S. visa remains a major goal for many. This shows that, despite the barriers, the American dream remains strong, and immigration policies need to continue to be adjusted to strike a balance between national security requirements and the ease of access for citizens around the world. Over the years, applying for a U.S. visa has no longer been a simple journey for many. Instead of being an opportunity, the process has gradually become one of exhaustion, stress, and sometimes disappointment. A visa is not merely a bureaucratic procedure. It is a psychological event with profound impacts on the applicants. The feeling of rejection and being excluded when one does not receive a visa can severely affect a person's self-esteem, mental state, and trust. Especially for those who have invested time, money, and effort to complete their applications, rejection can make them feel like a part of their dream has been shattered. One of the strongest feelings faced by applicants is fatigue. Having to prepare a plethora of documents, attend lengthy interviews, and undergo stressful screening processes often makes people feel like they are running a race in a system where they have no idea when it will stop. The complicated procedures, escalating costs, and constantly changing requirements create a sense that they are trapped in an endless cycle. This feeling is not merely discomfort, but also a waste of time and energy that many cannot afford. They start to feel that their efforts are not valued or recognized. Furthermore, applying for a visa is not just a simple procedure. It's a process that generates psychological tension. Each time they prepare their application, applicants are confronted with the fear of uncertainty. They have to face questions such as, am I eligible? Is there something I might have missed? Will I be rejected? These questions repeatedly echo in their minds, intensifying their anxiety. A visa is not just a piece of paper allowing entry into a country. For many, it is a sign of acceptance, recognition of their dreams, and acknowledgement of their efforts. When they do not receive a visa, it is not just an administrative failure, but a spiritual rejection. Visa applicants do not only face regulations, they also face the feeling of not being welcomed. A rejection can make them feel abandoned, unimportant, and disrespected by the country they hope to visit. These feelings can easily lead to psychological harm, especially when the visa process has consumed so much of their time and energy. It feels as though they have been judged unfairly, overlooked, or even irrationally excluded. Moreover, for those who have planned important trips, such as visiting family, studying abroad, or business travel, being denied a visa is not just a financial loss, but also a significant emotional blow. Another important issue in the visa application process is the sense that it is a game of chance with high odds of failure. Most people applying for a visa cannot predict whether they will be granted one. Even after preparing a complete application, providing all the necessary documents, and having valid reasons for their visa request, rejection can still happen unexpectedly. This creates a sense of unfairness and deep disappointment, especially when applicants feel they have done everything right. This process is not just about paperwork, it is also about psychology. Visa applicants sometimes feel as though they are participating in a game with no clear rules, where luck or a higher power can decide their fate. Whether they provide enough information or present reasonable grounds, the final decision still depends on unpredictable factors. This creates continuous psychological stress, gradually making applicants feel they have no control over the situation. To reduce the stress and psychological harm for visa applicants, governments need to improve the visa processing system. Clarifying requirements and processes can help applicants feel they are participating in a fairer and more transparent system. Reducing unnecessary procedures and simplifying the approval process would also be beneficial. Governments and organizations can provide psychological support services for visa applicants, especially in cases of rejection. Helping them overcome disappointment and seek other opportunities would be an important part of alleviating the psychological impact. Countries should adopt more practical and flexible policies when handling visa applications. They should consider factors beyond paperwork and formalities to assess cases, rather than solely relying on administrative procedures. This approach could help create a friendlier and more open environment for visa applicants. Issuing a visa should not be merely a bureaucratic procedure. It should also reflect empathy and respect for applicants. Countries can work to build a policy that fosters a sense of welcome, not only for those with strong financial means, but also for all individuals with reasonable and legitimate goals. The process of applying for a U.S. visa today is not only a bureaucratic procedure, but also a significant psychological challenge for many. One of the most serious issues applicants face is the long waiting time. For example, in New Delhi, the wait time for a visa interview can extend up to 600 days, an unbearably long period for those eager to move forward with their plans. For those planning to study, work, or visit family, this wait not only causes stress, but also affects their personal and professional life goals. Additionally, the visa denial rate is exceedingly high, particularly in certain countries. Denial rates can reach up to 78%, which increases the sense of injustice and disappointment for those who have diligently prepared their applications. Despite meeting all the requirements, a rejection can still come as a surprise, with no clear explanation. These figures reflect a lack of transparency in the review process, making many feel as though they are just numbers in a game with low odds of success. One of the most severe psychological impacts of being denied a visa is the feeling of being excluded and unwelcome. For many, the visa is not just a ticket to the U.S., but an opportunity to change their lives. A visa denial is not only an administrative failure, but can also be a significant psychological shock. Those who are rejected often feel that their efforts have been unrecognized, and at times, they may feel treated unfairly. Especially when the denial rate is high, many begin to wonder whether they are victims of discrimination. When a country has a disproportionately high denial rate, particularly for certain countries, it can create a sense of inequality in the review process. Decisions that are unclear and lack transparency in visa issuance can lead to a feeling that applicants are not being fairly considered, even though they have followed all the rules. One necessary step is to improve the processing time and reduce waiting periods. Extending the waiting process not only exhausts applicants but also creates unnecessary stress. The U.S. government should invest in improving the efficiency of these procedures to minimize inconvenience for its citizens. Countries need to establish a clearer and fairer review process. This includes providing detailed reasons for denials and expanding the appeal rights for those whose visas are denied. A fair process will help reduce the feeling of unfair treatment and create trust in the system. Visa rejection can be a significant psychological blow for many, especially when they have placed high expectations on the opportunity. Governments and support organizations can provide counseling and psychological support services for those facing such situations. Helping them cope with feelings of disappointment and abandonment will help them overcome these challenges. When the visa rejection rate is excessively high for certain countries, it can create feelings of discrimination. Governments need to ensure that visa decisions are not influenced by race or nationality, and that every applicant is treated fairly without bias. This is essential to maintain trust and fairness in the visa system. One of the most serious impacts of the current U.S. visa system is the loss of talent and opportunities that the economy faces. A U.S. visa is not just a chance for individuals to expand their future, but also a source of high-quality talent for the global economy. However, with complex procedures, long wait times, and high rejection rates, many people have given up the opportunity to work or study in the U.S. Instead of waiting for an opportunity that might never come, many international students and professionals have chosen countries like Canada, Australia, and European nations, where the visa process is easier and career opportunities are more promising. This leads to a significant loss of talent, as the U.S. is unable to recruit individuals with the skills, experience, and knowledge it needs. Large companies, especially in industries like technology, healthcare, and research, are experiencing labor shortages, which directly affects their ability to develop and compete in the global market. Moreover, when these professionals cannot come to the U.S., they not only contribute to the economy of their home countries, but also bring their talents to countries with more welcoming environments, significantly reducing creativity and innovation in key industries. The loss of talent and opportunities is not just a personal issue, but it also directly impacts the U.S. economy. When companies are unable to hire international experts, they are forced to search for domestic talent, which may lead to shortages of quality professionals in important sectors. Companies may have to settle for candidates who are less qualified or lack the necessary skills, hindering innovation and progress in their industries. Moreover, the lost opportunity to attract global talent could diminish the competitiveness of the U.S. economy. Countries with more flexible immigration policies and attractive environments for studying, researching, and working are quickly attracting talent. This could lead to fierce competition for talent among nations, and if the U.S. does not change its policies, it may become a factor hindering the sustainable growth of its economy. The negative impacts of the visa application process do not stop at companies and international experts. Families, small businesses, and students are also directly affected. For families, the increasingly complex visa application process makes it more difficult to reunite with loved ones in the U.S. This not only creates emotional difficulties but also affects their personal and professional development. A family may have to wait for months or even years to reunite, affecting their mental and financial stability. For small businesses, the inability to hire talent from abroad can slow their development. Without skilled workers, they will face difficulties in expanding, developing new products and services, thereby impacting their ability to compete in the global market. The U.S. economy also loses important resources in creative industries and high-tech sectors, which can affect the country's sustainable development. International students, who contribute significantly to the U.S. economy, are also greatly affected by the current visa system. Students who want to study in the U.S. face high rejection rates and long waiting times, which disrupt their educational and career plans. When they cannot come to the U.S. to study, they will opt for countries with easier visa processes and scholarship opportunities, which reduces the quality of U.S. education and forfeits future development opportunities. The U.S. government needs to take measures to improve the visa process, simplify procedures, and reduce waiting times to attract talent from around the world. This will help maintain the competitiveness of the U.S. economy and reduce the negative impact on businesses and families. The government should also create policies to support small businesses, helping them easily access international talent. This will not only help businesses grow, but also contribute to the overall economic growth. The U.S. needs to create more attractive opportunities for international students to study and research. Simplifying the visa process for students will not only improve the quality of education, but also foster international relationships and attract intellectual resources. If you agree with the points mentioned above, don't forget to leave a comment with the number 1. If you disagree, please leave the number 0. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support us. Let's work together to find solutions to improve the visa process and help the U.S. maintain its global position. Now let's continue to follow the next developments in the video. Over the years, the U.S. visa has ceased to be the golden ticket it once was. For many, especially professionals, students, and international entrepreneurs, the U.S. visa has now become a barrier rather than an opportunity. Personal stories of visa denials, difficulties in the application process, and the growing sense of injustice are increasingly common, reflecting a heartbreaking reality. The American dream is becoming more distant for many. One of the most upsetting and telling stories about the unfairness of the U.S. visa system is that of Professor John Obi, a renowned researcher from Nigeria. He was invited to attend an international conference at a top university in the U.S. to present his research in computer science. After receiving an official invitation and meticulously preparing all necessary documents, including proof of the trip's legitimacy, he went through a stressful and exhausting visa application process. Despite everything, he was denied a visa with no clear explanation. This decision was not only a shock to him, but also a painful lesson about the injustice in the visa system. Professor John's story is far from unique. It reflects a reality many international professionals face. Despite having complete documentation, they are still unable to overcome the U.S. visa barrier. This rejection not only affects their personal careers, but also halts opportunities for collaboration, research, and development between nations. Researchers like Professor John are not only seeking personal advancement, but also contributing to the global scientific community's progress. In addition to professionals and researchers, the stories of entrepreneurs and international students are equally heart-wrenching. These individuals, carrying dreams of entrepreneurship, learning, and expanding career opportunities, are now confronted with a visa system full of hurdles. One such entrepreneur, Mr. Arvind Patel from India, had to wait over a year to attend an international business conference in Silicon Valley. After carefully preparing his application, including evidence of his company and business development plans, he was still denied a visa for being unconvincing. This not only delayed his business plans, but also took a heavy toll on his morale. For him, this rejection wasn't just the loss of an opportunity to work with key partners. It was a psychological blow, feeling rejected without a clear reason. Similarly, the stories of international students highlight a troubling reality. Many students, especially those from developing countries, have missed the chance to study at U.S. universities due to visa denials. These students, who have spent years preparing their applications, studying, and taking exams, now face high rejection rates and stringent requirements, forcing them to seek study opportunities in countries with easier visa systems. For Americans, the visa is not just an immigration tool, but a symbol of opportunity, cooperation, and progress. However, in recent years, many have begun to notice a shift in how the U.S. visa is perceived. It was once seen as an opportunity that could change a person's life. But today, with complex procedures and high rejection rates, many in the international community feel that this golden ticket is no longer what it once was. Businesses and the international community are facing the consequences of being unable to attract global talent. Visa denials not only affect individuals, but also impact the U.S. economy. As high-quality labor is lost and businesses cannot access creative ideas and innovations from global experts, In fact, many top entrepreneurs and scientists have had to move to other countries to advance their careers, reducing America's competitiveness and creativity. Additionally, the increasingly common stories of the U.S. visa no longer being a golden ticket reflect the growing disappointment within the international community. An unfair and opaque visa system not only erodes trust in the U.S., but also damages the country's image worldwide. There is an urgent need to improve the visa issuance process to avoid unjust rejections. A clear and transparent system would help rebuild trust from the international community. The U.S. government needs to develop more accessible policies for professionals, entrepreneurs, and international students to avoid losing critical opportunities for collaboration and innovation that are vital to the national economy. The U.S. visa needs to return to being a symbol of opportunity, not a barrier that blocks those capable of contributing to the country's growth. Throughout its history, the United States has been seen as a symbol of freedom, opportunity, and the American dream. Those coming from other countries, regardless of their reasons, have long believed that America was the place where they could rebuild their lives, achieve their grand dreams, and contribute to the country's growth. However, today, obtaining a U.S. visa is no longer as straightforward as it once was. From complex bureaucratic procedures and long wait times to high rejection rates, these factors are gradually turning America from a symbol of freedom into a toll station, where dreams of a brighter future are being slowly suffocated. Those seeking to come to America must not only face high financial costs, but also endure feelings of exclusion and unfair treatment. These barriers create a clear divide between those who have the financial means and power to overcome these challenges, and those who do not. This reflects a major shift in how the U.S. views freedom and opportunity for all. The current approach seems to no longer recognize the value of freedom for all international citizens, instead focusing solely on financial benefits. These changes not only impact those who wish to come to America, but also represent a profound loss for the American people themselves. The spiritual legacy that America has built over centuries, as a nation that welcomes and creates opportunities for everyone, is being weakened. The American people, especially those who believe in the American dream, are also facing this shift. When the doors of opportunity are closed to those who could contribute positively to the economy and society, it not only weakens the economy, but also harms the legacy America has sustainably built. This loss is not just financial. It is also about spiritual values, about the connection between nations and cultures. America has long been known for its ability to integrate and thrive from diverse resources, and the lack of opportunity for talented individuals from around the world will erode this strength. These individuals, with their diverse cultural backgrounds and experiences, are the ones who can bring creative solutions and help America maintain its position on the global stage. By not embracing them, America is losing the opportunity to learn, develop, and harness creativity from other cultures. The Statue of Liberty, a famous symbol of freedom and opportunity, is a significant part of America's image. This monument, a gift from France, is not only a gift, but also a constant reminder of the ideals of a country that is free and welcomes all who seek opportunity. However, in today's context, the question arises, is the value of the American dream still intact? When obtaining a visa becomes a financial and bureaucratic struggle, one cannot help but wonder if America is still truly a country where anyone can build their dream. The American dream, once a great hope for millions, now seems to be slowly turning into an illusion for those who lack the strength or financial means to overcome these barriers. Denying the opportunity for talented individuals, promising students, and entrepreneurs who could contribute to the economy means that the American dream is losing its appeal and becoming increasingly out of reach. America must return to its core values, being a country that opens its doors to those who seek opportunity and freedom. To do this, the visa system needs to be reformed to be more accessible and fair, allowing all qualified individuals to find opportunities in America. The U.S. must remember that cultural and talent diversity is the strength of this nation. The spiritual legacy of being a country that welcomes and provides opportunities for everyone is not only a beautiful ideal, but also the foundation for sustainable development. Maintaining an open immigration policy will help America continue to be a global leader in innovation and growth. The American dream must be reaffirmed as a symbol of freedom and opportunity for all, regardless of where they come from. To achieve this, America must improve the visa issuance process, reduce financial and bureaucratic barriers, and open the doors to those who can truly contribute to the country's collective development. Recent changes in the U.S. visa system have raised significant questions and concerns about the country's future on the global stage. America, once a symbol of freedom, opportunity, and the American dream, now faces a major challenge. Will the country continue to open its doors to talent and those seeking new opportunities? Or will it continue to build more barriers? One of the biggest questions is whether the U.S. will maintain an open policy or continue to create more obstacles for immigrants and those who wish to come to the country. The current policies, with complex visa procedures and high rejection rates, have created a sense that America is no longer the welcoming nation it once was. The increase in fees, stringent screening processes, and long waiting times have led many to reconsider whether pursuing a future in the U.S. is worth it. If America continues to develop more barriers, it will not only impact visa applicants but also severely damage the country's image, reducing its global appeal and competitiveness. The U.S. visa was once regarded as the golden ticket, offering limitless opportunities for those with the skills and big dreams. However, as visas become less accessible and the rejection rate rises, the question arises: if the U.S. visa is no longer the golden ticket, what will replace it? Other countries, such as Canada, Australia, and many European nations, are becoming attractive alternatives with more flexible immigration policies. This presents a significant challenge for the U.S., as it risks losing talented individuals if it does not change its policies and create fair opportunities for all who want to contribute to the country's development. Finally, an important question is whether the world still wants to come to the U.S. In the past, America was the ideal destination for those seeking new opportunities. However, with increasingly harsh immigration policies and rising rejections, the perception that the U.S. is still the land of great opportunities is slowly fading. Many people, especially experts, students, and international entrepreneurs, are seeking opportunities in other countries with more welcoming environments. This raises the question: can America still maintain its position as the ideal destination for those seeking to change their lives and contribute to the development of the world? The future of the U.S. visa system stands at a crucial crossroads. Questions about whether America will continue to open its doors, what will replace the golden ticket if the visa is no longer what it once was, and whether the world still wants to come to the U.S. need to be carefully considered. To maintain its appeal and global position, the U.S. must reassess its immigration policies, reduce barriers, and ensure that the American dream remains an opportunity for all those who deserve it. Thank you for watching this video. If you agree with the views shared, don't forget to leave a comment with the number 1. If you disagree, please leave the number 0. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support us. We will continue bringing you interesting stories and hot topics in upcoming videos. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our videos.